So Dan Jessup, 5-0-1. He is up a game, but this one's going to be a tougher one. He's got 4 lands in play and a Sensei's Divining Top. But Noah has landed Jace the Mind Sculptor, which can sometimes be all that matters in these control mirrors.
Baleful Strix as well. I have attacked Miracles with the 1/1 Nimble Mongoose enough times to know that a Nimble Mongoose that draws a card is pretty nice.
2 mana here from Dan Jessup. It's going to be Predict. That's Predict, right? This is a one of in Dan's deck.
No, I haven't. None of that. Red Elemental Blast. And Predict is one of very few 2-for-1s that people are playing in Legacy currently.
I mean, if you're limited to spells that cost 1 and 2, trying to find something that generates card advantage is like is hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, name a card, then mill someone, and if you milled the card you named, you draw 2. Otherwise, you get an extra card.
And when you set yourself up just having a bad card that you want to mill on top of your deck, you get rid of that and draw cards. Draw 2 cards. There's a lot of upside to this.
Was the other 2 mana? There's the one that's 2 mana, draw a card, clash. If you win the clash, draw another one.
2 mana,
I like that
draw
one.
2 cards, lose 2 life.
I like the clash one.
Night's Whisper.
That one's probably better. The clash one's also a sorcery. It's not very good.
Night's Whisper is a sorcery.
That's also not very good. I'd rather play Sign and Blood for the burn equity. That's not true at all. Jace is going to brainstorm another time for Noah as he passes back to Dan. Just going to spin top on end step. We're in one of those situations here where Jace is running away with the game.
You mean one of those situations where Jace is in play and has been in play?
Kind of the same thing. This card's pretty messed up. Dan will start out by brainstorming. He's looking for a red blast, a Council's Judgment. He finds a grip full of lands. Puts back the non-fetch lands.
Gets to shuffle away and get a fresh look with his top.
Yeah, he gets to look at a lot of cards. Finds a basic island. Top shows Monastery Mentor, Arid Mesa, Terminus. Great cards, nothing that answers Jace just yet.
You could potentially get to a position where you can cast Mentor and make a couple Monk tokens in the same turn. If you just wait till next turn and he's able to resolve the Mentor, that could be very significant.
Unstep Vendilion Click by Noah Walker. You need to see both A, if it resolves, and B, who it's targeting. It's going to resolve. Top shows the same 3 cards as before. It looks like Dan wants to rearrange them.
Yeah, Jessup had a Terminus floating as the top card. He did not want that there. Should the Vendilion Click cause him to draw a card on his own turn, he would not get the Miracle trigger. It was targeting Jessup. It was Swords, Brainstorm, top. Swords is out of there.
Swinging now for 4. Dan's going to go ahead and crack Sensei's Divining Top. Looks like he might go for that Terminus. This will set back Noah, but he might be okay with it. I mean, he still has Jace.
Right.
Yeah, and he'll let that one happen. It's a 1-for-1, really. One of the cards is just Baleful Strix anyway. And then Noah uses Jace's Fate Seal, it looks like, to put the Divining Top on the bottom of Dan's deck. One of the few ways to remove a Divining Top.
Actually, it looks like Noah said that the top was fine.
Ugh, okay, sure. Then he'll follow up with Leovold.
And currently the card that Noah does not know about is the one that Jessup picked up from the Vendilion Click trigger. That is that Monastery Mentor.
Dan, so it's Leovold in play. In response, Dan's going to attempt for Brainstorm.
Yeah, just casting that one when Leovold's on the battlefield's not very inviting.
Now has 2 tops, 2 Monastery Mentors, and a land in his hand. So this is his plan. We'll see if it works. You can get a mentor, get a mentor in play and start looping tops. That resolves. Ponder from Noah Walker. This could do some damage, actually.
Yeah, counterspell that Noah has been holding in front of his hand. It's a Pyroblast. That can't do anything about Monastery Mentor. See what else he has hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game where Noah's activated Jace many times, so you'd think it should be locked up here, but it's not. We're going to see Monastery Mentor from Jessup. Just no blue mana open from Noah, so it's not getting countered. Now, Divining Top will make a monk, and another Divining Top will make a monk. And if Dan wants to, he could actually make one more monk, right? He could tap the top to draw the land on his deck, tap another.
Well, he can shuffle one away. It's a fetch land, it's a 6 land, I believe.
Okay, yeah. Then
you want 2 tops to do the top mentor trick.
Right, and he has another mentor in hand, so he actually, even if Noah has the kill spell, which is he does, Kolaghan's Command, 2 damage and discard. Now Dan's gonna pop a top here.
Yeah.
He has not drawn a card yet. No, is this end step? No, it's not.
Noah was tapped too low. This has to be.
All right, so he gets to draw the card. Mentor is going to die, and Dan will discard a land. Sensei Divining Top's on top of his deck. Now remember, he can't actually do the top trick here because of the Leovold.
Yeah. He'll have to answer that one first. Yeah, certainly still some work to do.
Noah's going to start unsummoning the monk tokens. Says go, leaving up 2. Does he have a counter spell? Be pretty big if he does. Monastery Mentor again from Jessup. Sensei's Divining Top from Jessup. Makes another monk token. But can't swing yet. He just has to say go. I guess he can wind up, so he can like pop a top on Noah's turn, and then on his turn do a play one. It's not great. Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, Noah's still going to work his way through these Monastery Mentors. It's kind of the problem here is that even no matter what you try to put together, when your opponent just has an onboard Jace, the fact that they're plus 6 cards on you kind of makes all this irrelevant. Like it's very likely they're going to have something.
Right.
Kolaghan's Command is cast. And the most chose by Noah Walker were to shoot the Mentor and have Dan discard. Interestingly, Dan popped a top in response, so I had to discard.
If Dan had Brainstorm on the top of the deck, he could just cast it. It would give him a prowess trigger, and he would end up with no cards in hand.
So here's really help. Ugh, you're right. Leovold.
It's not pretty.
And Dan's going to go to a third game here. About 21 minutes will remain between the two players. So we saw there, I mean, and this seems to be true about a lot of the control mirrors. A lot of this fight can center around Jace. Other thing, whether your Jace is being supported by Deathrite Shamans and Leovolds, or whether it's counterbalances and Sensei's Divining Tops, it still is mostly about Jace.
Yeah, Jace is still Jace. It's just not a reasonable card to have in a control mirror.
So at nearly undefeated, legacy undefeated we've been calling it, Dan Jessup, 501 with Miracles. The older brother of the two Jessup brothers now, the other Jessup, Andrew Jessup, currently sitting at 6-0 with Elves. Both having a great tournament here. Danny has 8 open top 8s and does have an open win to go with his invitational top 8. Stock manager during the day also plays varsity lacrosse. Used to play varsity lacrosse.
A New Yorker who is a fan of New York sports teams. Go figure. I never see him wearing any sports attire, though.
No. I don't. Oh, well, he has. I mean, he has the Team Metagame Gurus jersey.
He's got room. He can wear a baseball cap.
Yeah. His opponent, Noah Walker, player really done well in the last year here. 20-year-old from Amherst, Massachusetts, already has nearly the same resume as Jessup. 7 open top 8s, 2 open wins. Recently winning a GP. Has been having really just a great past 12 months. One of up and coming here on the Team Card Hoarder Pro Tour team as well.
He has a phenomenal win record with Grixis, Delver, and Legacy. This is still, a Deathrite Shaman kind of grindy deck, though he is off Delvers now. Very similar play patterns, just more robust cards.
All right, so Dan's going to be on the play for the third game. Starts off on Ponder.
For a long time, Miracles really didn't touch Ponder. Kind of took a while for this card to start show up in this deck. Certainly as a 4 of. Monastery Mentor likely had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, what's interesting was playing Ponder a lot before Mentor. Though there were Ponder builds and Ponderless builds. At this point, I don't really see any of the second. Mm-hmm. It's going to be another Ponder from Jessup. He found these off the first one. Mentor, red card, another Ponder. He might shuffle these ones. He's a little light on land. Just one more in hand. Or make that 2. We've got an Arid Mesa and a basic Plains. So he'll then keep those, draws Monastery Mentor, basic Plains, and passes.
I believe that red card might be that Commander special we were talking about before, the From the Ashes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that will be excellent here against Noah's deck. Noah plays 2 basics, a swamp and a plain and an island. And still more lands developing from Jessup. He had the option to go for Monastery Mentor, decided not to. And we see Baleful Strix for Noah. First play here. Gets him out onto the board without losing any sort of card advantage. Also, a lot of times in these control matches, we want to see players make try to make as many land drops as possible. So the cantrip plays for Noah. Dan's going to end step Brainstorm with that fetch land in play. Draws another Ponder, a Mountain, and a Snapcaster Mage.
I believe that Dan is looking at Pyroblasting this Baleful Strix to stop Noah from drawing a card, but his red source is currently a fetch land, so brainstorming first so he can not lose that fetch land value.
So Noah has not drawn yet. Some Force of Will still in the deck for Jessup. You'll see players trim that card in a control mirror. A 0-mana counterspell is nice. A 2-for-1 on yourself is not. Looks like Baleful Strix will just resolve. I guess Jessup could go for that play if he has the From the Ashes. Noah still has 2 basics left in his deck, so it's not great.
It's possible that Dan just never saw a basic in game 1 or 2.
And thinks this is just going to win.
Mm-hmm.
The 4-color list, it seems to me...
Looking at deck lists, I've seen a lot of basic lands.
Yeah, well, I've seen actually the same mana configuration to the point where it's feeling like there's an established deck list for it.
Mm-hmm.
And someone like Dan Jessup, if there is an established deck list, he's probably aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll go for Monastery Mentor, leaving up the Volcanic Island. Then passes. This is going to force some action on Noah's side. He certainly can't let this guy survive.
Yeah.
Red Blast and Force of Will,
pretty
both
good
in
backup.
Dan's hand to protect it, yeah. But a
Force of Will to fight over some kind of removal spell. Red Blast to fight the counter battle.
Brainstorm from Noah Walker. Dan contemplates Red Blasting that for a second, but then decides no. So Noah goes up on cards.
When your opponent's light on cards in hand, Red Blasting Brainstorm is very inviting. When they're so heavy, oftentimes the Brainstorm is just kind of extra. This is Legacy. You get to play 4 Brainstorms. It's not Vintage. You're not stuck on 1.
And a fetch 9 from Noah, Polluted Delta. And he just passes, so Dan gets to untap with his own Monastery Mentor here. Draws Sensei's Divining Top. Okay, this is going to put a lot of pressure on Noah to do something. If he just plays top, which he will.
Thinking about which color of mana to tap is Jessup.
Yeah, the mountain's pretty bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here is Sensei's Divining Top, Prowess Trigger. And it's just working. All right.
Noah has no response and even just gives Jessup the Monk.
Dan's got to be thinking, well, this is good. Maybe should be suspicious. You see Ponder. Okay.
Just wondering what Noah is up to. Very unlikely that Jessup will want to tap off of his red mana entirely on this turn.
Snapcaster Mage, land, and Pyroblast on top. This is pretty good. Can take the land. There's no reason to draw the Pyroblast just yet, as he doesn't have another red source. Looks like he's still going to keep going with a blast here. This part I'm a little surprised, as Noah has some very good untap plays. Going to go ahead and blast the Strix away.
Jessup seems to be putting Noah on just having a handful of nonsense.
Well, I mean, even if Noah, at this point, right, what's the worst card that Noah could resolve?
Right. Jessup's filling up on monks.
Jace is fine.
Yeah, Noah already has some catching up to do on the battlefield. If he's let this much happen already.
Engineered Explosives, but I mean, it's not like Dan has a counter for that anyway. And Force of Will is going to take care of the Pyroblast. Pitching Snapcaster Mage. This is a show of weakness here on Noah's side. If he had something like Engineered Explosives, he might just let this resolve.
Right.
So Monastery Mentor now up to a 5/5. Looks like Dan wanted to get a hit in, and then he'll just say go. Let his creatures shrink back down. If the monks survive, they will be more than enough.
Yeah, no reason to get super aggressive with Dan's own Force of Will.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, that was already a pretty aggressive line from Dan.
Yes.
To tap, the Pyroblast in particular was, I think, surprisingly aggressive.
I would agree.
Not necessarily wrong. I think one of the things we're seeing with the newer Miracles pilots, the old school Miracle guys would never make a play as aggressive as what Dan did.
Right.
So like I see that and I think, ooh, that's not what the good players do. But Miracles, especially with Monastery Mentor becoming more common, this sort of aggressive take on the play of it actually can work out. Noah's going to cast Night's Whisper. Looking for something. Maybe that Engineered Explosives. Baleful Strix, again from Walker. And Dan's going to spin top. Land, Snapcaster Mage, land.
Not a great top 3, especially considering that none of those lands are fetch lands, just a Tundra and a Plains.
There's already a Snapcaster in Jessup's hand. And Noah says go. I'll be interested to see whether Dan pushes with the Divining Top, like whether he draws a card and just recasts it for a prowess trigger. It means it could be countered, which is a bummer. You see that from the ashes in Dan's hand. Oh, that's so good. Oh, come on, we can do this. I want to see this happen real bad right now.
His force Red Blast backup, right? It seems like a very reasonable card to cast.
Yeah, I'm into this. Yeah, let's do it. Doesn't he want to tap the Volk? Yeah. From the ashes, from Dan Jessup, prowess trigger. Destroy all non-basic lands. For each land destroyed, so it's controlling my searches land for basic land, library for basic land card, and put it on the battlefield tapped. Don't know if he remembered the monk trigger, but if this resolves, I don't know if we care.
This will be destroying 3 of Noah's lands
as
he finds an island and a swamp.
There's just no way he can let this happen. Noah floats a mana. Why do we tap? I'm not exactly sure why the Volcanic got tapped there. It got left up.
He represents more stuff, right?
No, because the land's going to play untapped. So like if he tapped it for the red.
I mean,
sure. Oh,
I
see what you mean.
On the stack. Although now he's no longer leaving up his Red Blast.
I mean, Noah got a swamp. Doesn't he have an island in the deck? It's in his hand.
It's in his hand. Yikes.
I mean, this doesn't matter, right?
I mean, it doesn't matter in terms of the lands he's about to control.
All right, Dan definitely didn't make a monk off that from the ashes, though.
Rats.
It's the kind of play that's like such a game-winning play that you forget, like, oh yeah, I forgot to make the monk. I think it's because I knew if this resolved, I was going to win.
He's feeling pretty good about his spot.
Yeah, so swings for 4. Noah loses a Strix. Yeah, you mean you have Red Blast Force blue card on this board? It's nice. Just blew up all your opponent's lands. What a card here, and this one looks to keep Dan Jessup in that legacy undefeated bracket.
And something that's pretty interesting about From the Ashes, when you're bringing it in against a deck like Colorless Eldrazi, you just want to jam it as soon as you have enough mana.
Oh, but he was milking this one.
Oh yeah, you just wanted to wait to get a bunch of dual lands off the table.
Ponder here from Noah as he tries to rebuild, but he did just get quad stone rained. 4 mana, destroy 4 lands is pretty good in a control mirror.
I'll say.
Dan's gonna spin top. Counter spell. Sure.
Counter spell.
Can't do much.
Pyroblast. Fetch land if he wants to reset.
Yeah, and he also can now he can start cycling through that top. He's gonna Red Blast, Monastery Mentor trigger, and he'll extend the hand. That's gonna be the match. Dan Jessup is still now moves to 6-0-1. One more win away from day 2.
That From the Ashes was mighty nice. To be fair, Noah was a little behind before that happened, but it looked like he had kind of a fighting chance. If he was able to find some stuff to clean up the Mentor proper, maybe catch up that way. But having all of his lands destroyed and being left with very few resources, it certainly was a very uphill battle from there.
All right, so that's going to be it for our round number 7 coverage. And we still have 2 more rounds to go. 7th win gets player years into day 2. Now, if you didn't catch us earlier, we had a great match in round 3 with Jay Imperiali.